What's going on, fans? This is your black male English teacher, your favorite one at that, and the future Dr. Verde L. Coleman III. I wanted to kind of give a shout out before the video gets started. Shout out to all the clubs on Clubhouse that have literally played a role in changing and evolving my life. There are hundreds and thousands of clubs out there, but only few have literally been there in the process to see me evolve into the king that I am. And believe me when I tell you, that was not an easy step. So I want to give these guys their flowers. I want you guys to go on Clubhouse, find me, find the clubs. And if you got to rewind the video a few times, if you got to pause to find each one of them, I definitely want you to go and look up these clubs, follow them, become a member of them, bring people into these clubs, because these clubs are what you need in your life. These clubs are bringing the premier perspective on many different topics, and they definitely are seeking to bring value to your life, because if it wasn't for these clubs, I wouldn't be the great doctoral student, the great educator, the great lover, the great human being that I am. So believe me, I speak with high regard of each club that I recognize and shout out. So with that being said, let's get started.
Purchase your tracks today.
Verdi, about to go on a date. How do I look? How do I look, man? Dude, you always come in here and ask me how you look before you go on a date. You do realize that particular question is for the women that you go on a date with, right? I know, but I gotta have my guy's opinion on the subject matter too, you know? Okay, fair point. Speaking of guys, where is V? Doesn't he usually help you with this kind of thing? Oh yeah, he went to Shanice's house. Oh, enough said. A better question is, what are you still doing at that computer? Shouldn't you be off of it like 3 hours ago? Truth? The work turned out to be a little bit more than I thought it would be. Plus, I have more on my plate than I thought too. Dude, let it go, at least for a little bit. Let it go. Trey, you know I can't, man. I got duties and responsibilities. I can't just exactly slack off or stop for a moment because I want to go and do this, and this. After I complete something, I literally have to recover for self-care. Man, it's hard AF, man. Well, what exactly makes it so hard for you? Like seriously, I know you're always working on something and trying to meet a deadline, but surely there's more to it than that. Okay, it's something that most people wouldn't understand. Mostly because they're not in it. Well, translate for me then. Okay, so I knew when I signed up for the doctoral program, this thing was gonna be hard. I knew that I was gonna have a lot of work to do, things like that nature, but I really didn't know that I was gonna be losing sleep, recovering on deadlines, not being able to really hang out with people, not even really being able to date for real. Like, this was hard for me. Not to mention, like, the dating aspect of it was just difficult as it is. A lot of times, you know, when I tell the other person about it, it's just, you would think that they understood the terms and conditions they signed up for. Not to mention, I don't get to see my family as often. I don't get to hang out with, you know, my friends. It's a whole lot of responsibility that I have to have, but I know that this is what I signed up for. I just wasn't expecting it to be so rough. Dang, bro. I really did not know it was going to be that hard. But guess what? It's only temporary, man. When you get that degree, man, I know what you said, man. When you get that degree, you're going to be outside all year. It's summer vacay for you all year round. And you know what? I'm glad to be your younger brother. You're one of the smartest guys that I know. And guess what? I'm going to be by your side when we finish this. And when you go on that vacation, I'm definitely going to go there with you, man. Can't do this without your younger brother. It sounds like a plan. Yeah, then we're going to get you a girlfriend. Shut up. Go on your date and be a gentleman. Of course I'm going to be a gentleman. I learned from the best. What's going on, everybody? This is your favorite doctoral student, your favorite son of Alabama, and the greatest black male English teacher you'll ever meet, the future Dr. Brady L. Coleman III. I am here today to bring you yet another episode of Road to the Doctorate Season 5. So, the video that you watched earlier, the little skit that you watched earlier, dealt with the idea of sacrifice. So, let's just go ahead and keep it a buck. Sacrifice is not one of the things that people like to talk about, whether it be just in usual conversation, in spiritual conversation, any kind of conversation, period. But sacrifice takes on a whole different meaning when we are operating in this world as doctoral students. This I know because I'm in my second year. And a lot of people don't consider the ramifications of the things that they're choosing when it comes to making that sacrifice. Like, they really have no idea how much they have to give up. And to be honest, I didn't either. I knew that I was gonna have to give up a lot of things, but I didn't know that it was gonna be this deep. It was literally subterranean at this point. So there are three things that I want to talk about in this video in order for you guys to really understand how sacrifice works for a doctoral student, and you can take them and use them in anything that you're dealing with in life, whether it be your spirituality, whether it be your civilian job, your military job, whatever it is. Just as this advice will work for doctoral students, it will work for you as well. So the first thing about sacrifice is that you have to be conscious of the choice that you're making. Now, I know that sounds very simple, it sounds rudimentary, but not a lot of people are aware of that. Being conscious of what choice you're making means that you are aware that whatever it is that you want in life, you have to be willing to work for it. You have to be conscious, you have to be aware in order to know these things. A lot of times people just go in and do the stuff and not realize, oh, okay, I'm giving this up. Okay, So when you are realizing that it's going to be stuff that you have to give up, you can move on to the second step. The second step is, what are you willing to give up? All right. So as I said before, being aware of the sacrifices that you have to make, being conscious about it. All right, so the second step is, what are you willing to sacrifice? For me, I had to sacrifice vacations, hanging out with, my friends on a less daily basis. I've had to sacrifice even seeing my mom. And that was a tough one. If I'm just gonna be honest. Not being able to see my mom as much as I really want to, that hurts, because mom and I, we have a lot of differences. We clash on a lot of things, but we agree on so much more, and I do enjoy having her around. And as much as I want her over here, or as much as I want to be over there, I know that that's not possible, because I'm going to be neck deep in work or trying to do self-care, and I want her to live her life. She has raised me for 30 years of my life and made me the man that I am today. So I wouldn't want to put her through that. I just want her to know that, hey, baby boy is doing well. I'm making things happen. With my friends, a lot of my friends are seeking advanced degrees. So it's not like it's just too terrible. It's not like it's just, oh, you don't hit me up anymore, blase, blase. Like, everybody knows that I'm going for a doctorate program. And those that aren't getting advanced degrees or starting up a business, they know, they understand, they got lives that they're trying to live. And as far as just doing activities, period, I did a lot of activities, but most of them I did by myself. I rarely did things with other people. So that one wasn't as hard to give up, but at the same time, I still had a hard time letting it go, because I wanted to basically be able to go to a basketball game or a football game on any schedule. Like, I want to be able to go to the football games on the schedule for the high school that I work at, but I realize I'm not going to be able to go to all of them. See, before the doctoral program kicked in, I was in that car every Friday evening heading to an away game or, a home game, and it was nothing for me to think about. But now that the schedule is out and I'm still, we're playing, but still I have to be conscious of and remember, you made the choice. That assignment is going to be due Sunday. That assignment is going to be due Saturday, or that assignment is going to be due Monday. You can't waste the time. And these are the things that I have to take into account for that. It's not easy, and I very well could have made moves in order to make things happen, but that would be so much more of a strain on me than it would be an unnecessary strain, and that's not something that I want to do. I don't want to put a strain on myself just to be able to have the best of both worlds. I'd rather be able to have my assignments completed and then be able to take care of myself, give myself some self-care. And like, most of all, the biggest thing about this whole knowing what I'm willing to sacrifice is knowing that my responsibilities are going to come first. That leads up to the third piece of it. Being able to maintain your responsibilities while getting this doctorate. That is the biggest, most critical thing that gets in people's way during the doctoral program. Biggest thing. And the reason why is, when we're working our normal jobs, we look to the things that we like to do as a way of being able to release that stress, to relieve ourselves and be like, hey, I done made it. It's Friday. It's the weekend. Let's go ahead and do this thing. Let's party, turn up, or whatever it is that you like to do on the weekends, that it gives you the ability to be able to be stress-free. I don't get that option. Not on a full-time basis anyway. I don't get that option. So my responsibilities are going to have more weight attached to them, I guess you can say, because with my schooling and being a civilian teacher, living by myself, that means I have to make sure that everything inside this place is, tip-top shape and things of that nature. That is something that I have to make sure that I'm conscious and aware of every single day. And guess what? It gets hard. It gets hard sometimes. And I'm just going to keep it honest. If I had to throw a fourth element in here about sacrifice, It's understanding that sometimes you might want to quit. Because there have been multiple times where I wanted to drop a class. Multiple times where I wanted to say, forget this. I wanted to let it go. And there have been days where my entire lab, my apartment, my bedroom, just everything in there was a mess. But I had to remember that I got a goal. I have an end game, and I have people dependent upon me. And it would be unfair to both of them, both parties. It would be unfair to pretty much anybody for me to give up now. It wouldn't even be fair to myself, because I know how ambitious I am. So, moral of the story, unless you are very conscious of what you have to do as far as sacrifice, if you don't know what you're sacrificing and you're not able to handle those responsibilities that come with adding on to ambition, take some time, reevaluate yourself. Because at the end of the day, being conscious of what you got to do, knowing what you're willing to sacrifice, and knowing that you still got to keep up your responsibilities are the three things that help you understand sacrifice, whether it is spiritual or not. So please be mindful of that. And most of all, stay safe. Do whatever it takes in order to stay safe, stay out of the way, and whatever deity you pray to, have a relationship with them. Because that really does help you understand the concept of sacrifice. Because every deity, no matter what it is, they want you to succeed in life. What are you willing to do in order to make it happen?